Listen, if you don't have a Blues Brothers poster, a Scarface poster, you don't jerk off to Candy Kong.
Crank it. They call me Cranky Kong because I'm cranking it to Candy Kong.
Cranking to candy.
Is that a Mike Myers?
Yeah, it is.
Is that an Austin?
It is. I'm sorry.
Is it the second one?
I think so. Damon.
Yeah.
Okay. So
you just wanted to make sure I was here.
I'm going to put you in a time and place. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, like with the powers of your mind, or?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to use words as well.
You're going to paint me a word picture. Okay.
Well, it's generated by my mind. Okay. So,
it's okay.
It's 1994.
Yes.
You are so excited because you got for Christmas the video game.
Ooh, a video game.
What system do you think I'm talking about?
94. Is that a SNES, as some people annoyingly call it?
That is a Super Nintendo Entertainment System. I don't know why I said weird like that, but I did.
I do love a SNES.
Okay, so this was probably not the first game you got on the SNES. This was probably
so it's not Super Mario World.
No.
And we've already done A Link to the Past.
Yeah, this was a hot game. This was a hot ticket.
A sexy game.
And we recently mentioned this on a podcast. I don't remember which episode, and it made me think of it. Because this was very special to me.
As Alistair Beck would say, what genre of game is it?
Platformer? Why did I go full Porky Pig with that?
I know. There's only one answer it could be.
Let me paint the scene. There's barrels.
Okay.
There's bananas.
Yeah.
There's mine carts.
Uh-huh.
What am I talking about?
Tiny Toon Adventures, Buster Bust Loose. Am I close?
You're not that far, I guess.
Was a roller coaster just released? They don't release roller coasters. They launch them, maybe. They build them, perhaps, so they don't release them. In Orlando, Florida?
Maybe. I'm not up on my roller coaster news. Okay.
Is this Donkey Kong Country?
It is. Donkey Kong Country.
But not Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Conquest.
No, just not the original, because we're so far removed from the original Donkey Kong, but this is the first Donkey Kong Country.
Yes. This is the first time we went to his homeland.
Donkey Kong beget Mario, beget Donkey Kong Country, beget a whole bunch of shit.
Chapter 5 of Genesis, of course.
And now Methuselah is anyway. This will always be a special game to me because I wanted it so bad. And I didn't get it. We got through all the Christmas presents, and I was spoiled in I was definitely spoiled in that I got, my parents usually got me stuff for Christmas. You know what I mean? I wasn't
so you were spoiled in that regard. Yes.
But I mean, I was well taken care of it, but I also wasn't the kind of kid spoiled where I'd be like, I asked for this. And I was very grateful. I was just slightly disappointed on the inside.
You weren't Dudley Dursley quite levels of obnoxious.
Yes. And this was like the only thing that year I think I asked for. And I also have the benefit of having a birthday that's somewhat near Christmas. And so I was like, maybe I'll just get it for my birthday. Because there's always that tricky,
I like that optimism, Deej. I like that optimism.
So I was like a little disappointed, but I was fine. And then my dad said, we are all finished up. We're kind of cleaning up. Because I would have been, 12 at this time?
Mm-hmm.
14. I would have been 14. Sorry.
So it came out in 1994?
Yeah.
You've been 12.
I was 12. Sorry. I do not know how to do math. And so we're cleaning. My dad's like, hey, will you straighten the tree skirt? Yeah, of course. No, around the back.
I like a good-hearted prank.
No. Farther back. And now I'm starting to be like, what the fuck are we doing here? I thought it was like, we already did the pictures thing. We already did the presents. What the fuck are we doing? I started
There's either another present or you're about to be sucked into a fantastical realm.
Yeah. And lo and behold, under the tree skirt was the one more present. Good trick, Dad. It was Donkey Kong Country.
He Columboed you. Just one more thing, ma'am.
And then he did just one more thing. And he didn't see me.
Before I forget, just adjust the tree skirt a little bit.
And then he didn't see me for a year because I had just played Donkey Kong Country.
I was like, okay, yes. Because he went to Hong Kong. He said on business.
But he went out to get a Donkey Kong Country cartridge and never came back.
Okay, I remember this being a huge thing. Like if I remember a friend of mine in high school, Kevin, brought the manual to school for us to pour over like an ancient. What is going on?
Sorry, I caught a mosquito that was in the house.
Okay.
Sorry, please
kill that mosquito before it lands on your feeder.
So please repeat the beginning of that story.
I remember this being a big deal. I remember my friend Kevin bringing the manual to school where there was famously, and I checked the records, where there was not a Super Nintendo to play it on. We just poured over the manual like, rabbis writing in the margins. And I remember the graphics being
not
really...
since Common Sense by Thomas Paine has a pamphlet been poured over.
And I remember we were all blown away by the graphics. Oh my God, it looks so real. I want to say this, though. There's currently a controversy because Donkey Kong, the man, the ape, has had a recent redesign.
Yeah.
It sort of combines his classic design from the arcade and this design into one design. And people are mad, as only people can be. But I just want to say, I really never clicked with this specific design of Donkey Kong, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
It's about his eyebrow.
Yeah, the look sort of.
It comes up on the sides and then forms like a little U that's always in this U shape over his eyes that gives him a very, if you've watched any animation ever, gives him a very angry look, despite him being a lovable monkey who just loves his bananas. I never liked it. It also it creates this weird crease because he has this ridge that comes alongside his eyes, and then it has to almost like fold over itself like a fucking bear claw to form this angry ridge. And it's sort of stuck with that all through the recent games as well. Even though like I like Diddy Kong and Dixie Kong, I think they're cute as fuck. Donkey Kong always looks kind of weird. And I am glad they have changed his design yet again.
Wow. Okay.
Now, I also remember this game being fucking hard.
Yeah. The
timing of the barrels, Deej, I'm going to throw some. I'm going to get mad. I know I'm going to get mad with the barrels.
I kind of wanted to revisit the feeling of being 12 and, being so mad.
Who wouldn't want to visit that? Go on.
That I got grounded from Nintendo at several different points in my life. I don't remember if I was grounded from this game specifically. Sounds right, though. And I do think it's a great game, but I also think there were very challenging parts of it. And it'll be interesting to revisit and see how far we get. Because, how far do I have to get to be considered ready to address you in this arena in the future? I think you have to play. You have to have, I think, hours of gameplay versus how far you get in the game.
Interesting. So I can just play the first level over and over, get 100 balloons, extra life balloons. And you'll consider that.
If you suck so bad that you can't get past the first level, that's not, I'm not going to hold that against you and not allow you to talk as if you're an expert on Donkey Kong Country. I would not. That's the rule of podcast. If you dip a single toe into a topic, you can speak at length about it.
I'm trying to remember where I got angriest, and I actually do remember the exact level.
Ooh,
I think I got through the factory levels.
Yeah.
But I think after the factory levels, it's a ice world. It's, you're at the top of Donkey Kong Mountain or what have you.
Yeah.
And that first level, that entry level into the world is fucking hard because it starts snowing heavier and heavier. So your view is obstructed and it's a lot of bouncing and it's a lot of timed barrels and a lot of hornets you can't kill.
Oh, those guys.
And this game, now this is something we can work around with the Switch online system, but you have to get to certain spots where a very sexualized lady gorilla allows you to save your game. So if you don't get to her and you get a game over, you're fucked.
Yeah. I would also like to present to you the challenge of us doing some co-play. Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
You get to play as Diddy.
I like Diddy.
Diddy Kong. You want to say the whole this
nowadays.
Nowadays,
I have gone to a white party hosted by Diddy, but it was hosted by Diddy Kong.
And bananas are white, right?
If you open them up.
We're going to play Donkey Kong Country, the original on Super Nintendo Entertainment System, except we're going to probably play it on Switch because I don't think we have an operational SNES, but
actually, I might actually have one.
Play along with us or watch a walkthrough or something, and we'll talk about it more when we come back. Bye.
Bye.
Those are my favorite kind of notes when you're just naming things that are in the thing you're talking about.
I'm like, wow. Kind of like when we do our quotes, and it's like, it's already recorded. We don't need to also record it.
We just watched this with you, presumably, even though no one probably does that.
No one does that. No one ever.
You know how in arcade games, the original Donkey Kong, for example, you had to just keep pumping quarters in there in order to continue?
Uh-huh.
Our podcast is kind of like that. You can help by pumping quarters in.
Preferably in units of 4 quarters or more.
Or more. I think our lowest tier is actually 12 quarters per month. But it's still pretty low. Times are changing.
Inflation, yeah. Tariffs.
You can go to patreon.com/YourInChildIsAnIdiot and you can support the show just like you did at the back of Marion's Pizza in Ohio when you would play. That was Turtles in Time more than Donkey Kong, but still, the point stands. The very important point stands, which is that you should support our show so we can keep the lights on. Damon's lights keep going out.
They're flickering. You know how the electric company, they're like an elementary school teacher, they just sort of turn them on and off so you know, like, hey, really this time you have to pay.
And the HVAC guys, they don't do anything, but they just stand there in silence and go, I can wait just as long as you until you pay your bill. So we need your help. Patreon.com/YourInChildIsAnIdiot. Wow.
Another hit.
Pac-Man. Another super good commercial.
We're
good
back.
At them. We're back. Stop it. Just move on. No one cares.
I'm remaining silent until I'm free to talk.
Why are you so red right now? You're so mad.
I don't know.
Are you mad or embarrassed?
We haven't recorded one of these in a while.
It has been a minute. We're out of practice. It's been a busy...
That's the reason.
We don't need to do this on tape, but I'm sorry. It's been I feel like it's mostly my fault. It's been a very busy time.
I have been blaming you. I have been cursing you.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not in front of a mic, what am I doing here?
What's the point?
I'm kind of like Laura Loomer. I just want attention of any kind. Positive, negative, gimme.
All publicity is good publicity. That was Damon. Damon's Anthopoulos original.
That's what I coined, famously. And then I found out someone had already said it before.
And then I said, I don't know, P.T. Barnum said it or something. We played Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah.
Some of us more than others. Some of us may have given up on the end game and watched some videos, but it doesn't matter.
Some of us may have started playing the second one.
Ooh, DK Cunt 2?
DK Cunt 2 did Conquest.
Okay.
Diddy's Conquest. That's what it's called.
Do you want to paint the scenario? There's no the recap is the bananas are stolen, get the bananas back. That's literally it. So
correct. Wait, then I don't know. What's the scenario versus what you just said? What am I doing?
I just want you to use your word paintings to bring us into this world because you have a gift, my friend. And I want the world to share it.
I think we've covered over the history of this podcast that my gift is recapping the thing we watched in a succinct and informative manner.
Well, you don't have to recap. Just give me, set the scene for the final.
Okay, so Donkey Kong, you can call him Donkey.
Already starting off with weird emphasis. Just get right into it.
He's an ape. He's one of the great apes on Kong Island. That's where we're set. Which is an island that has, just like the place you grew up and where I grew up, that has his face carved into the side of the mountain.
Sure. Is that for sure his face? Because
I think so. I mean, the Kongs do have similar faces.
We get at the very beginning, we see, Cranky Kong, and he's cranking, not in a gross way, but in like a record player. And, but then DK, the Donkey Kong we're going to come to know and love in this country of Donkey Kong, he's going to bust in with a jam box to play some tunes, because this ain't your pappy's Donkey Kong.
And we all know my grandpappy plays
a Victrola.
And his bananas have been stolen, and his little friend Diddy Kong, who is a monkey.
No relation. I mean, probably some relation. I think it's his
Kong
nephew.
Their race? Because everyone has the same last name, which makes it very uncomfortable that Candy Kong is up in my business.
Yeah.
If we are blood relations.
Maybe she's like one of those cousins where they want to go on a walk on Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? Like,
she wants me to smoke weed with her, or a different kind of walk on Thanksgiving.
I think there's two kinds of walks that we're talking about. We're talking about the weed walk, but we're also talking about the hots for your cousin walk.
How separate a cousin are we talking about?
Well, since it's a small island, I don't know how
it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough, genetically speaking. I don't know what else I'm supposed to be saying. Are you wanting me to talk about gameplay? This is a side-scrolling platformer with monkeys and bananas instead of coins. And, it's got different levels. We got a jungle level, then we got a mine level, then we've got sort of a temple level. Is that correct? And then we have I
don't know what we're worshiping, but it was something.
A coniferous forest level. And then we have a factory level. No, we don't have a factory level. We have an ice level, factory level, cave level, which was a bit of a letdown. And then off to kill... to commit regicide against some sort of crocodile king.
Yeah, it was not even a factory, like a refinery. It's like kind of...
Yeah. And apparently it's implied that it is run by the Kremlings?
Yeah.
I should also say the Kremlings are our enemies. Is this the scenario? They're crocodile-based
I feel like you're getting there. I don't know. I feel like you're resisting it, but you're also just telling the
doing
tale,
it.
So.
I'm making a big deal about the fact that I'm not doing it while successfly doing it.
It's like I asked you to order a sandwich, and you're like, you want me to just go up there and just be like, give me a BLT, and then they're like, sure.
That's what I want you to do.
Do you actually want a BLT? I don't know if you're just Anyway, please proceed with whatever you're doing right now.
Kremlings, they're all crocodile-shaped men, and they are our enemies. They sort of have an army motif going on.
Yeah,
I guess.
Is this a play on the Kremlin? Is this a Russian thing? It's vague.
Get a huge Kremlin thing with the Kremlings, but they are very charming. I like the Kremlings. I feel like they get more charming in subsequent games, but I do like whenever I jump on their head.
The sounds. Anytime you just like bounce one time and they just go or the little one's like I like that.
And then, then we go and kill King K. Rool, who is our villain, who stole our bananas for reasons unknown. He just likes bananas.
On one hand, I kind of want to know more about what's going on here. What's the motivation? Why did he take the bananas? But also, I like a game that's like, motherfucker took your bananas, go get your bananas back, and then you just go.
Continue moving to the right until otherwise notified.
Yeah. You get it. And I immediately did. I would say, I wouldn't say that I was immediately good at this game, but I did know what was going on very quickly because of how long and how often I played it when I was a young lad.
It is very much borrowing from the Mario motif. I think even the level setup feels very Mario in that, it starts by introducing a concept or a mechanic that's going to be the theme of this level. This is what you're going to be doing this level or avoiding or turning on and off or whatever. And then it'll introduce difficulty in that. And then, at the end of the thing, it's sort of like, have you mastered it yet? And then, unlike Mario, though, it's really good at just introducing it in one level, and then you probably won't see that mechanic again for the rest of the game. You might see sceneries like mine carts and caves, but turning lights on and off and turning these clay monsters on and off and avoiding beavers in giant rolling logs that are going to crush you. That's only in one level each,
That, I think, was my least favorite thing is the gophers in giant stone wheels.
Yeah.
They were cute, but very
adorable.
annoying.
I love the idea.
That was, I don't remember where that is in the sequence. It's not super far in, but like second or third.
I think it's the third,
world.
second or third level, yeah.
But I had to, that was where I first began on the Switch, we're playing on the Switch, what's the word for it when it's not
Nintendo Online, or Nintendo Switch Online, Switch Direct Online, Nintendo Direct Online. It's a collection of words that don't necessarily make any sense.
But the point is, we do have the opportunity to rewind, and
I had to make a rule to myself to stop rewinding so much.
I was trying to not do it until that level when I was like, well, this isn't fun because I just died 15 times and I do not want to start over because we got a podcast to record, even though that was several weeks ago, and I probably could have gotten back to that point at this point. But
I've created an urgency that doesn't exist.
It's not
like Damon's going to be like, no, we're recording today.
We have nothing else we can talk about. There's not several decades of media that we could talk about. Anyway.
So I was curious. So did you get mad? Did you get mad? Was that the level where you got mad?
I got a little bit frustrated. I would say I was prepared to get more mad than I did in general.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's because I went in just being like, I played this a lot. I loved it. I played it for hours, and also remember getting real mad. And so I was kind of ready for that video game, come on, to come out. And I wouldn't say it didn't come out at all, but it was fairly mild for a angry, immature DJ.
I remember as a kid really liking the minecart levels.
Yeah.
And I know that they have a reputation, and I was like, I loved them when I was a kid. And then playing them, I was not pleased. There is a little bit, I think, of a residual original Nintendo unfairness at times in this game that started to piss me off. Those minecart levels is really when I noticed it a lot, where those minecarts move really fast, and you just basically have to memorize it. And I guess to the game's credit, I feel like it's fairly liberal with extra lives.
Yeah.
They have extra life balloons that you can collect. You get, just like Mario, if you get 100 bananas, you get an extra life. There are a lot of mini games. You have animal friends, and there are like statues of those animal friends. If you collect 3, you go into just basically a bonus sequence where you're just collecting items that will give you extra lives. It's fairly liberal with them, which I appreciate. Following the Mario 3 Mario World rule, like, what if we just threw lives at you? And I'm like, yes, thank you.
Yes.
But I do feel like, I remember there was one level that it was particularly cruel. It might have been the lights on and off, or maybe it was a level where creatures were coming out of little barrels. They just like kept spawning over and over again. Mm-hmm. And I had finally got to through the worst of it, and I saw that little arrow sign, which usually shows up when you're pretty close to the end, saying, you're almost there, keep going. I had gotten my G, which also is a signifier that you're almost done with the level. And then right at the end of the level, coming out of the exit door, there's a sign that says exit. There was a doorway.
Oh, yeah.
A little chomper came out and bit me and killed me, and I was like, fuck you, game. There's no way I would know he was there. It's just cruel. So I rewound it because I felt like that was the game's fault, and I'm allowed to rewind.
Yeah.
But there's a little bit of that cruelty that pissed me off.
Did you remember the sequence? Like, I wouldn't say I executed it flawlessly.
In the minecart, you mean?
But yeah, I remembered most of it just from doing it.
I wouldn't say I didn't have, because I never actually owned this game, so I didn't memorize this one. I have been playing Diddy's Conquest, which for some reason I did own, but not this one. And I have been playing that, and I do still have muscle memory remembered for some of those. I don't like that. I did have some muscle memory for some of those levels. In this one, I just got a growing sense of...
Just to get this on recording, you say you remember Diddy's Conquest?
I owned Diddy's Conquest.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I did
definitely not going to snip that out as its own isolated clip.
What does that mean?
Don't worry about it.
I remembered it? I remembered Diddy's Conquest? Is that something
You were there for Diddy's Conquest? Is that what you're saying? You were there with Diddy on his conquest? I don't know. I'm trying to make you associated with Sean Buffy Combs.
I see. Sean Diddy Combs. That was a different game entirely. That was like a Leisure Suit Larry type game. Anyway, what was I talking about? I had muscle memory with that one, but I didn't have it with this one. I just had an ever-growing sense of dread on the minecart levels. I'm like, I know something's about to slide out of here and piss me off. Maybe that first minecart level, I still kind of got it, but there was one where there was just Kremlings like coming along
they're going
to their
fast.
own death. And I was like, I know something. It's been too straight for too long. There's something coming.
The one where you have to, like, there's a bunch of abandoned minecarts on the track. You have to jump over.
Yeah.
And that's like, you would just have no way. Like,
you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know. That I didn't like. I was thinking also, I know you weren't as keen on this game, but I really liked Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I think that's its name. Mm-hmm. And in those minecart games, I feel like they were pretty good because there's a really deep background. Literally in the background, you would see characters coming in the background, and you knew, okay, there's going to be 3 guys coming in quick succession, so I need to be ready for them.
A little preview.
I do appreciate that. That is a little bit more of the, are you observant, or are you just playing this rote memorization style, like just playing it over and over and over so you know exactly when that Kremling's about to appear? And I appreciate the former more than the latter.
Did you enjoy the gameplay of Diddy Kong versus Donkey?
I did. This is a very solid game, and it's fun to play, and it's easy to pick up the mechanics of it really well. I wouldn't say it's easy to master those mechanics.
Yeah.
I never really feel comfortable with the roll jump, which is something you can do with both characters, where they'll roll, and you can roll off a cliff and then jump. And sometimes, like, those Kong letters that you can collect that will also give you another extra life. There's another extra life you can get every level. They'll be, like, in the middle of a pit, and you have to just roll off the edge of the pit and then jump real quick. And I'm like, fuck you, this doesn't even make sense. I never felt comfortable doing it, probably because I'm a human being who exists in time and space. And so the idea that falling off a cliff and then jumping doesn't make any sense to me. So it was hard for me to get that. And sometimes some levels almost required you to do that in order to make certain jumps.
Yeah.
And especially some of those, what's the word? Like they're almost like cavern levels where there's just like hanging platforms and swinging lights. I felt like there were some of those levels where you were almost required to do that.
Like make the jump. You had to,
One thing sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, Diddy can like jump faster and higher. And so he's faster in general, and he can jump higher. I
was about to mention this. I don't know how I feel about that, because I feel like he is noticeably faster and noticeably higher, but it's still an infinite. It's like the smallest amount for it to be noticeable for me. And so there were some jumps where I was like, oh, I should switch to Diddy because he can jump higher, because I knew he could, and I still couldn't like reach a rope that took me to a bonus room or something like that. And so I feel like they were a little too close for me for there to be as much of a noticeable difference in my gameplay. And that might be also because I'm more familiar with the sequel, where you can play as Dixie, who, like anyone with a ponytail, can fly.
Can spin.
And so there's a much noticeable difference between those two characters than these two characters. Also, what pissed me off, or maybe not pissed me off, but an interesting element is that Donkey is heavier than Diddy. And so he can jump on top of certain characters that Diddy cannot jump on top of. Diddy can cartwheel into these characters. Yeah. Anyone who makes that sound is big. And Diddy can cartwheel into those characters, but sometimes those characters are on short little platforms, and there's no space to actually, if you are just left with Diddy, there's no place to get on those platforms and cartwheel into them. Or I never felt like confident enough to do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I liked it in general. I like the mechanic because there was a little bit of strategy to it. Because you also, if you get struck, by an enemy, you lose that character. He runs away, but you can play as the other character. So you've got a little bit of
you essentially have 2 hit points, basically.
Yeah, that's also how, if you play 2-player, you can mess with that. But like we that you have to like think about it sometimes of like, okay, if I know later in this level that I'm going to really need that, Diddy to do this, then you might play as Donkey Kong, because in case you lose him, you can always switch if you have both. But yeah, I thought, I don't know. It's not like the deepest strategy, because you can get kind of anywhere if you play it right. But what do you think about, I want to talk about the buddies.
The animal bunnies. Do you have their names handy on you? I know Rambi, of course. Of course.
There's Rambi the Rhinocerous. Mm-hmm. There's Espresso the ostrich.
Wonderful. Okay.
There's Ungard the swordfish. There's Winky the frog. And then there's Squawks, who is the
Squawks.
parrot.
Does Squawks ever actually, can you play as Squawks, or is he follows you around?
He just has the light. And if you bust him out of the box in the dark level.
Does this game also have like a fish that follows you around in a dark water level, or is that only that might be in the next one? I might be.
Yeah, I don't
conflating them now that I've continued on to the next game. You're right. Okay, ignore that.
You read ahead of the class.
I know. Sorry, everyone. I just got really into this, and I read the next book in the series. Yeah, I do like the animal buddies. I know that Rambi and On Guard are the only ones that really continue on into the next games, and I feel like that is telling. I liked Espresso the Ostrich, whose talent is that she can sort of float, and she
don't
runs
need that
fairly
if you got
fast.
Trixie. Yeah.
And Winky I found very difficult to maneuver with. I don't know what it was. He's sort of wide set, and so I was never sure, because he's used a lot in levels where you need to jump very high, because that's his skill. And sometimes those levels also have tires in the game, which help you bounce higher as well. And sometimes I was expected, I need to get on a tire with Winky so I can get super high jumps. And sometimes I think just because he's a bigger sprite, I was not sure where he actually was sitting. Like, where does the computer read as him sitting? And I had trouble like landing very specific jumps when I was with him, and I would often lose him.
Or if you need to like land on an enemy, because when he jumps, it's like a 45-degree angle, but like when he comes down, it's on like the back part where his legs are. You can sort of eventually figure it out, but it's not very clear just by looking at it. You can't. Yeah,
I think actually you might be more accurate. That 45-degree angle when he jumps, which is natural for a frog.
Sure.
It just doesn't read right in my gaming brain to understand where he is landing.
Well, it was like, usually I think games are pretty, fair or like liberal with how you land on an enemy. But this one is like, no, it's about the same. Him. It's the same, width as either Donkey Kong or Diddy. It's just you have to use his back legs or something. So it's a little bit harder to use. He was I think the worst to use. It's not that I hated it. I mean, it's always fun to like get, because it's kind of a bonus, because you lose them and you still have your two guys left, and you can also get them. They run away.
It's like a fire flower almost.
Yeah, well, but like Yoshi in Super Mario World, they'll run away, and you can get them back if you catch them quick enough. Which is, I like that a lot. I kind of wish you could do that if like Donkey Kong gets hit, you can be like, hey, come back here.
I think I only found Espresso to Ride, which is my favorite Beatles song, in one level. And I lost her almost immediately. Yeah. She was very difficult to control in the level, although I think I got her bonus round the most, which is when you, you collect those statues of each of your buddies.
You go up to like the highest level and just kind of float down to catch all the things. Yeah.
Rambi, I mean, is great. On Guard is great, because On Guard, I think, might be my actual favorite. Because in water levels, you don't even have the ability to jump on things. And if you catch On Guard, you have much more control when you're swimming. And because he is a marlin, he has a sword nose, and you can bump into most of the enemies underwater, which is great. And I always felt bad when I did lose him underwater.
I had a lot of sense memories of like, I remember this because when you go to the
Unix system.
When you go to the water levels, it looks like Fruity Pebbles, the coral everywhere. And I remember being like, yeah. But it's kind of fun because there's a lot of like little secret levels everywhere. Like Rambi can bust through walls, and Winky can jump up, and you can find barrels hidden everywhere. Yeah. But On Guard will slip through certain gaps in the coral, and you can kind of tell kind of where they might be, but you kind of just have to know. You just kind of have to know.
I didn't know. I could never find them, and sometimes I would just run into something in a weird way. I was like, oh, some more of that NES, obtuseness that you're holding on to. Mostly it was for bonus levels, so it didn't bother me. But I mean, a little bit of a hint that this isn't real, or you can bypass this little piece of coral would be nice, rather than just having me run on guard up a wall like fucking Spider-Man because I'm just trying to see if all these walls are real.
It's like you just kind of have to try everything. Just like in Mario, you have to just squat like you're pooping on every pipe you see until you figure out which ones you can go down.
But at least the pipe is like, the pipe is a thing, and so I'm not squatting every time I move an inch in Mario. Like, that's what On Guard is essentially doing, is like, oh, do you see a wall? I guess you'll have to test the entire length of the wall to make sure it's real.
It's usually where there's an indentation, which there are many that you don't go anywhere, but usually there's some sort of indentation. Just like in the, when there's little holes or you can bust a hole in a walking level, you can either do it with a barrel or you can use Rambi. You kind of see where those possibilities are after a while, but then 25% of them are actual bonuses, and otherwise you just kind of have to try it. What were you going to say?
I was going to stop you because someone just kept texting me in quick succession, and I had to go on. Do not disturb. I realized with our different time, my thing wasn't on. Sorry. I do want to talk about, related to the animal buddies, like those little statues. I started to avoid those things. Only because they are fun, and they're a great way to collect at least 3 extra lives.
Yeah.
But they sort of interrupt your gameplay in a weird way. And I realized why this specific thing did not come back in later games was if you collect 3 of them over the course of your gameplay of each kind, you would be taken to a bonus realm with that buddy. Is that the music to it?
Yeah.
But you never know how many of each buddy you have. There's no way to check, and it immediately stops everything if you touch that thing, if you have 3 of them, and takes you to a bonus stage. So if you're in the middle of, I don't know, really concentrating on a jump or something, I found myself no, I don't want to do this right now. Could you staple this on to the end of the level or something like that? I don't know. I found it, it's not infuriating, but sometimes I'm in a zone and I'm just kind of annoyed that now I'm stopped and I have to do this other thing, and then I have to come back and get back in that zone again.
I was in the middle of doing a flip off the cliff and jump thing. And now
I was doing a roll jump.
It doesn't send you back to that exact moment. It poops you out of a barrel.
Yeah, it usually plops you in a fair place, but it still is jarring every time it happens.
Speaking of barrels, I want to talk about the barrel shooting mechanic, because it's definitely something that I remember from this game. So there are barrels everywhere that you can, there's 2 main kinds of barrels. One that is a manual shooter, where not Emmanuel, but a manual shooter, where you push the A button.
Emmanuel shooter, yeah.
Yeah. Where you push the button to get a shot out. And then there's the ones with stars on them, which shoot you automatically.
Right.
And then there's spinning versions of both of those. So later on, it gets pretty crazy with that mechanic, because you have to, the barrel's moving up and down really fast, and you have to shoot. And you also have to think about, if the next one is, you have to line them up and it's also got a star on it, that as soon as you hit it, it's going to spin and shoot you. And I actually really like that, even though it's very frustrating sometimes.
It's very cathartic when you get it right, and it's very infuriating when you can't get it right. I will say there's not only, in terms of the moving barrels, there are barrels that sort of tick back and forth like a metronome.
Yeah.
And then there's others that do 160 degrees of shooting. So there are some that will just go in the cardinal directions, and some that are no. You have to pick the exact degree where you're wanting to point. And it can be a little infuriating, if you can ever be a little infuriated. Apoplectic, one might say. But they are a lot of fun when you get it right. But I found myself really getting frustrated with the barrels that go in a completely fluid 360 degrees that you can screw up 359 different ways until you get it right. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. And sometimes those barrel levels know that you hate them, and sometimes you can find a secret barrel like right at the entrance that'll just shoot you halfway across the level. And I think I found a few instances where I would stumble upon a barrel that would take me right to the end of the level, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna head out now, I guess, if this is all cool.
See you later. I think for some reason that ability stayed mostly with me, the ability to get the barrel timing right. Okay. I wasn't perfect, and I'm not saying it didn't frustrate me at all, especially when it gets very challenging in the Ewok level later, where it's like, it's by the end, you've got one that's like spinning, spinning and if they're spinning and also like going up and down while spinning, fuck off. Yeah. But mostly I'm pretty good on the timing. I'm not talking on school here, but I'm a little bit of an idiot savant.
What was I going to say?
Is your favorite barrel, is it the barrel that has a fuselage and wings that Funky Kong will allow you to use?
Let me tell you how uncomfortable. I like Cranky Kong a lot because I like grumpy characters in general for some reason. Funky and Candy Kong make me very uncomfortable and made me very uncomfortable back in 1994 in ways that are different yet similar. Candy Kong made me uncomfortable because it just reminded me of my nascent homosexuality. I'm like, am I supposed to like this thing? Am I supposed to be into this sexy Kong woman, this sexy ape woman in a bikini who's blowing kisses at not only Donkey Kong, but also Diddy Kong, a child? That made me very uncomfortable. Because one, of course, like, I was dealing with my own stuff.
Because you're so gay.
Because I'm so gay.
You mean you don't find Candy Kong so fucking hot?
We're all into this. I just want to make sure we're all supposed to be into this. This specific woman.
Listen, if you don't have a Blues Brothers poster, a Scarface poster on your wall, and you don't jerk off to Candy Kong.
Cranking. They call me Cranky Kong because I'm cranking it to Candy Kong.
Just call it cranking to candy.
So that made me uncomfortable because of that. And it also annoys me because it's like, oh yeah, the audience here is boys, right? Only boys play video games. I'm like, I guess if you force the issue in this way, you're absolutely right. And then Funky Kong also made me uncomfortable in the way that it's like, this is what cool kids like. This is what you want to be, right? And I'm like, I don't want to be this at all. I don't really like this. I don't want to have pink hair or sunglasses and talk like a surfer bro. So it just reminded me of how fucking nerdy I was. So it was a 1-2 punch from Donkey Kong Country that made me uncomfortable. Just reminding me how out of step with my heterosexual surfer peers in my Tennessee high school that I was. Didn't like it.
Yeah, I think I never thought like, oh, this is supposed to be cool. I thought it was more like he's your weird surfing uncle or something. Mm-hmm. That was I guess they're cousins or something. I don't know. I don't know the whole lineage.
He's Joe Cool to my Snoopy.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that how you
Luckily, Candy Kong got kicked to the curbs. We never saw her again.
Well, and it was a really interesting mechanic. And it's sort of like anachronistic to a certain point because you have to like get to a place where you declare a save instead of just being like save.
Oh yeah, but it's much more of a thing in the actual game, in the original game.
Yeah, but then I don't know if I ever used Funky Kong. I'm trying to think.
I did in my playthrough right before I went to King K. Rool to garner up extra lives in the earliest level, because you can get them really quick. And I wanted to, I only had 24 when I was going into them, and I just didn't trust myself. I wanted to get it up to a nice even 30. And so I did that in the Jungle Hijinks level.
You mentioned Stop and Go Station, which is not by name, but that is the level where you have to hit the lights where he intonated
my name. This is like a political debate. I believe I get 30 seconds to respond, says stop and go barrel.
Listen, Stop and Go Station was a friend of mine.
Sorry.
You, sir, are no Stop and Go Station.
There he goes again, says Stop and Go Station.
But that's the one where you have to hit the red light, green light to stop the monsters that are coming for you.
Yeah, the clay golems that are running around.
That is terrifying. They're so fast.
Ooh, I didn't care for it. I'll tell you what, I didn't like it.
That is, I don't think it's scary if you're like, someone who actually watches scary things, but it was scary.
They also have red glowing eyes.
Yeah.
And they move so fast that it's almost like a death sentence if you don't time it right, or you don't actually hit that barrel on the way down into the pit with these clay golems.
The speed, I think, is the second worst thing, because I think the worst thing is the speed combined with the fact that you can hear them stomping. They go like when they're running, they're like, ah! It makes it seem even faster. It's terrifying. I don't like that. I don't like it at all.
I'm trying to think of my, even though you were talking about your least favorite level. I'm trying to think of, I think my favorite level might be Vulture Culture, which I think is in the 3rd or 4th level. Yeah. I like a bounce, and the bouncing off the vultures is fun because you sort of treat them as platforms, and much like the of the big guys, the vultures go every time you kill them, and I'm charmed by that. It's hard to get a lot of charm into an enemy character that you sometimes only see for a split second before you murder it. I mean, even Mario, I don't know if has really nailed it with Koopa Troopas yet, but I feel like Donkey Kong Country really, in inventing a whole new class of enemy, really nails it. And I think even when I was playing Diddy's Conquest, it even goes further and makes them much more full of personality in that game as well. So I think Rare did a really good job. Rare being the developer, thank you.
Rare, the makers of Battletoads. We'll be back.
Fuck you, Rare. I just remembered how much I hate you.
They're Neki, I believe is the name of the vulture.
And Neki Jr. Yes.
Neki Jr. is the little...
those tiny little ones are funny because they make the exact same sound as the big ones.
Yeah. And then there's the giant one that you fight at the end. I mean, do you want to talk about the bosses separately, or do you want to just get into that?
I found myself getting frustrated with them much more than I remember getting frustrated with them when I played in the 90s. Especially Neki, who is a vulture... a boss. All the bosses are just larger versions, for the most part, of enemies you already encountered. And Neki just appears... Neki appears from the sides, so you just see his head, and he'll spit eggs at you, which I'm no, ornithologist, but I don't think that's where... Oh, are they coconuts?
Yeah, they're like brown and like almond-shaped.
You see, I buy heritage eggs, so I'm just so used to seeing brown eggs.
Jesus Christ.
I have my own chickens. My Silkies outside give me beautiful brown eggs.
You know, when everyone else is like, hey, I can barely afford rent because the eggs are so expensive now, you're like, give me the most expensive ones you can.
That's right.
Let
them eat eggs.
Eggs, yeah.
I found him hard to jump on because Donkey, again, is very difficult to, is not the best jumper. And Neki starts at the highest point, so it's hard to get on him.
I think that was another one where just random memory. I just remembered, you gotta wait. You just gotta dodge till he comes down and then get him. He is harder
they're all not very memorable. Sure. I feel like they're maybe because they're all just larger versions of the established enemies. I was like, I was kind of disappointed in the mini bosses, really, because they're pretty easy, like not in a satisfying way at first, and then they're not like doing anything. Like very naughty is like GNAWT. Yeah, giant beaver. He's just kind of hopping around, and you just gotta like. He gets faster, and then the next time he's just even faster. And I think he hops large hops. That's true. He does a different pattern, I think, in that one. And there's a different pattern for Neki the second time too. And then what else is there? There's a drum. There's a barrel that just shoots regular enemies at you. And once you kill all those enemies, it explodes on its own. So it's like, that was weird. This almost feels like that is probably the worst boss of the game because it just feels unthought out. It was like, fuck, we didn't come up with something. Boss Dum Drum. He is dumb. But especially for being such a late period boss in the game, it is a kind of stupid.
Yeah, because they could have thrown a lot of things. They could have thrown those scary ass clay monsters or something like that. Or
well, you can't kill those guys, can you?
I mean, no. So maybe that's why they didn't.
Oh, you mean as the whole enemy, just one of those giant things.
If I may launch a criticism in general.
No. This is we're trying to get Donkey Kong Country to be interviewed on the show, so we want to play it real cool. Only glowing reviews. This
episode brought to you by a 30-year-old video game. Just Donkey Kong Country, not like Rare or Nintendo, just this game.
We're trying to meet the YouTube algorithm, so we either need to love it or hate it. Anything in between is a waste of time.
That's what's wrong with our podcast. That's why we're not more popular.
Yeah, that's it.
I immediately kind of recognize the music and remember the music, but then it's like there's only a few different themes and they kind of just reuse them throughout, which is common for earlier video games. But I feel like this is, Super Nintendo, where like Super Mario World had a ton of music and a ton of great music. And the original Nintendo had songs. I just feel like they didn't try very hard with the music that is there is good. There's like and then there's like a little bit of a dungeon-ish theme, but it's kind of, it's not that great. And then it's just kind of like,
no, wait, that might be, sorry. I can't do the music because I'm also playing the second one. So now I'm remembering songs that weren't even in this. But yeah, they are sort of reused a lot. I will admit that. And like the music for every ocean level has the same music. And I agree. It is, all that's there is really good, but there's only a handful of songs.
When it's one of the appealing things, like if you are frustrated because later levels get more challenging. That's part of how it's supposed to work. But then you usually get, this new music. Ooh, like it kind of creates a new ambiance and something different. Mm-hmm. It does a little bit like too much reusing. Like a little bit of reusing is cool, but when you just like fighting the same enemies and they're just like a little bit faster and then the level's the same, but it's just a little bit different. It felt a little bit like borderline lazy at some points. Like sometimes that's cool because you're kind of like looking at something at a different angle and now there's different enemies. And sometimes you're like,
wait, are you criticizing the music still, or are you criticizing the numbers of the variety of enemies?
Both, actually. So, fuck.
Yeah, I think there aren't. Yeah, once you probably get to once vultures, I think, are introduced, you're not meeting new enemies, I think, for the most part. Yeah. They're all the same.
Variations on a theme, so to speak.
Correct.
Another musical.
I can see how, which is one. That means that every time you encounter something, it's not something like brand new where you have to learn its patterns or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, it can maybe get a little rote near the end. I found myself a little bit getting bored with the backgrounds. The backgrounds are really reused a lot. And I actually found out why that might be. But well, it's kind of like the memory was like at its limit in this game.
Gotcha.
And we can talk about like the pre-rendered sprites and everything. They created 3D models of all the characters and then converted them into pixelated sprites. And that's why you get a very sort of three-dimensionality to all these characters, and they have sort of a chunkiness that I think that feels very real, rather than just feeling like something that was built out of sprites. They were built in 3D and then converted into a pixel graphic. But the backgrounds, in order to save, if you think about other SNES games, backgrounds typically tended to be built using tiles, like the repeating pattern thing. And this one has like very lush looking backgrounds.
Full rendered backgrounds. Yeah.
And they had to sort of convert that into tile, which was a huge amount of time and memory, like pushing the cartridge to its limit. And the music also was built in the game rather than like writing music and then converting it into MIDI sounds. David Wise, who is the composer, built the music in the game the game itself.
Really?
Which also helped them conserve space. But I also hear that sounds are the biggest like chunk that gets that sucks a lot of memory in video games.
Oh.
So I think that's why sounds sometimes got used and reused, and music got reused. But yeah, I found myself getting a little bit bored. Sometimes they were really interesting in that the backgrounds. I mean, I sometimes found myself getting bored with the backgrounds, but I sometimes found it interesting. They tried to vary it up. Like, for example, like using the same jungle background, but it's raining now, or using the same jungle background and it's during a sunset. But then sometimes things like caves, the only difference would be this cave is purple. I'm like,
right.
Yeah, I see that. That's nice. The caves were probably the most boring of it. Caverns and mine cart levels all kind of had the same look to them, which can be a little bit rote after a while.
Just a little repetitive. I think.
I mean, not terrible. I remember getting really disappointed that the second to last level is just caves again. Like the world itself, the theme is caves. And I'm like, I thought we already had a cave level. And the game came out and said that was technically a minecart cavern level. I'm like, cavern versus caves. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically even the same word. I actually don't think I know the difference between a cavern and a cave.
I don't think that I don't remember what it was. But in the second to last level is just caves. And I think the second level is temples might be the theme. I don't know what it is.
I did remember? Like they introduced the mechanic of the treadmill that runs on the fuel. You have to like keep.
Ooh, that was a clever one. I like that.
That was cool. And that was pretty late in the game, like where it was kind of like, ooh, a new mechanic. And then, then you're like, fuck this fucking.
Now I'm not even getting full fuel tanks anymore.
Yeah, that's kind of bullshit at the end. But
they're testing your mastery of the mechanic.
Would you please speak to the final boss battle? And well, there's also a fake ending we're going to talk about too.
Well, you might have to speak to that because King K. Rool still rules over my iteration of Donkey Kong Country. I was never able to get him. I'm afraid to say.
Shoots like there's a ship in the background. There's like shooting cannonballs or like something where you have to like dodge.
Yeah, he goes through several phases. He initially like you cannot jump on him directly because he's wearing a crown, and the crown has points, and they'll get your butt. But he'll throw his crown at you in boomerang style, and then you can jump on his head. And that's the first phase. Is like he'll do that, and then he'll jump to the opposite end of the ship, and then sort of cannonballs will start firing in sequence.
Yeah, and
then once they're done, he'll throw his crown again, and you can jump on him. So you're sort of always waiting for that opening. My problem with it is it's on a ship, which is great because it's a new background. Also, it is a very jaunty sea shanty type song, which was very charming, which then gets used in the next game because that's pirate themed. And so it almost like creates this flow into the next game.
Because he's a pirate now? He's a king of the pirate.
He's a king in this one.
Lizard?
He's a pirate. He's Captain K. Rool. And then I believe he's Dr. Krockenstein in the third one because there's a Frankenstein's monster type deal going on.
Excellent.
Deal with it. Yeah. Deal with it.
Okay.
And then I think he's murdered because he has not returned in the later games.
King K. Rool will not return in Avengers 3.
It never say die. So the other thing is that the pirate ship is long, like it spans back and forth instead of just being a fixed set. You can run to one end and the camera will pan along and then pan back. And so it was sometimes hard with that and a lot of foreground stuff that is blocking your sight to know what the fuck I'm looking at. There was a lot of rigging and stuff like that blocking in the foreground. And sometimes, especially on the far right side, it would cover what he's doing. I'm like, come on, guys. I need to at least be able to see him. So I started getting a little frustrated with that. But I've heard that there is a fake ending and he'll get back up.
Yeah, he dies, but then he comes right back.
Does it have like fate credits that start rolling? Is that in this one or is that?
I'm trying to remember. I don't think it does it. It definitely like does where like Donkey Kong does a little dance or whatever, and you think it's over and plays some like different music, but then he like gets up and then you get it. But I don't think they go through full crash, but I can't remember.
That might be also another game I have never beaten, but in the second one, I think credits start running, but you notice all the names in the credits start with K.
Yeah, maybe that was this.
Is that this one?
I don't know. It was a couple weeks ago. But
we're bad people. We can't beat video games. I wanted to say a few more things. Rare, we can talk about them in Battletoads if you want. Rare are the people who were given this game to create. They're a UK-based developer, which is very interesting because I do think there is a Western sensibility in this game. I mean, there's boom boxes and the guys are just. I feel like there is sort of a Japanese element, like to like Mario giving the peace sign and like all the Mario games and things like that. Just little things that I notice are very Westernized in this game. That's not a pro or a con. I just thought it was interesting that you can tell there's sort of a different sensibility going on in this game. You know, we all play Victrolas, just like Cranky Kong here in the West.
We crank it, you know.
We love girls in bikinis, no matter how hairy or ape-like they are.
Every American is a surfer, too. So they were trying to play to
That's very true.
The American disabilities.
Oh, the other thing is this, I had learned, and I think this might be a theory. This isn't necessarily confirmed, but this might have been an attempt to get some people back from the Sega Genesis. The SNES was sort of losing to the Genesis saying, we do what Nintendo don't, was working on our teenage brains with not enough wrinkles in them. And because Genesis was sort of winning the console war. Yeah. I remember even as a kid, there was an attitude of like, oh, you're not playing on Sega Genesis?
Yeah, baby. Nintendo's for kids and Sega Genesis.
And I think this was an attempt to sort of like take that Sonic attitude of wagging your finger at the camera and bring it to Nintendo. And they were like, how can we do that? And then we're like, what about this character you haven't made a game out of since, 1985?
They're like, Eureka!
The last time this character was around, he was teaching us math. Could we use this character, perhaps?
I love how much background knowledge that you're bringing to this.
Well, YouTube just has an autoplay feature and those videos just start playing.
Would you like to go to the verdict?
I would, in fact, like to do that.
Come on.
We have to go to a separate room for this.
Damon.
Yeah.
What is your verdict?
Your inner child is not an idiot. I remember what I want to say, and I'll work it into my verdict right now.
Perfect.
The main flaw with this game is that I hate Donkey Kong's design in this game, and I'm glad they're redesigning him currently.
Oh, wow.
I have never liked Donkey Kong's design, and the controversy over Donkey Kong's redesign that's happening this year, I'm just like, you guys are fucking idiots. I hate his brow. I hate that U-shaped brow that he has. Weird. It always makes him angry, even though he doesn't seem like an angry guy.
He seems like pretty chill.
Banana stealing, he seems pretty chill.
Like Donkey Kong right now?
Yeah, it's so unnatural and weird. And then especially once they got out of the very mid-90s computer graphic look of it into more realistic graphics. Diddy Kong, don't get me wrong, Diddy Kong looks great. I love him and his design in this. But Donkey Kong, hate it. I hate his design, and I'm so happy they've changed it. That being said, this game's great. I don't love it as much as I love Diddy's Conquest. Mm-hmm. I love going to parties with Diddy. I could party with Diddy all night. But
you did say the word baby and oil in this podcast too, so we're just gonna chop that all together. Yeah.
You screwed yourself.
You idiot.
But it's a great game. There's a lot of charm here. I think it really shows what videos can do, what video games can do almost instantaneously, just if they're really working at it. Just Donkey Kong has personality, Diddy Kong has personality. The Kremlings, even though they're wholly new characters, all have personality to boot. It's a very charming game. It's funny. It's got a lot of sense of humor. The fuck am I? Did I translate this from Russian and back? What the fuck am I talking about?
You Listen, did you just chat GPT your verdict? Did you try to read it? Try to pass it off as your own?
I just can't come up with words in order.
Stop
so you probably
M
notice there's a lot of M
dashes
in this review. The three things about Donkey Kong Country are, not only is it a fun game to play, but it's also fun. But yeah, Your Inner Child is not an idiot. This is a fun game.
Wow, Damon, what a great verdict. That's my chat GPT because it's just glazing.
You always bring great reviews to your podcast that are always informative and entertaining. Thank you.
Your Inner Child is not an idiot. I loved this. I can see why I loved it so much. I can see why it was an enormously successful game. Because it's a lot of fun and it's a lot of like, it's not like it introduced, revolutionary new things, but it did sort of take things to another place, another level where you're like, you've got the mechanics and then you're like, and then you got your little friends here. It's kind of like similar to the Yoshi mechanic that we all learned in, or that we all used in Super Mario World. And then you're kind of like going a different direction with it. And yeah, the characters are fun. It's, we touched on a couple of things. It does get a little bit repetitive and the music, I think it would have been nice, but your explanation, I don't know if that's really the reason why, but it sounds like,
I said it very authoritatively, so it's bound to be true.
I just heard it here on a podcast, so it can't be wrong.
Two white guys said it to me, so who am I to argue with them?
Don't take any vaccines, and music takes up a lot of space on Super Nintendo cartridges. These are things that I just know from podcasts. So
this is what white guys tell you.
Yeah.
Ivermectin. It really works.
But I thought it was a lot of fun. I like a lot of times when we revisit games, especially, I usually get, Bible Adventures is its own thing, but I usually get kind of like after a while, be like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. But this one, it's still kind of fun. It's like fun.
I think the fact that it just keeps building on itself and those mechanics keep getting added and they never sort of overstay their welcome really helps like this game really stand out. It really shows like, just doing it absolutely perfectly. If you just make a game absolutely perfectly, it's a home run, as you might say in your baseball chat rooms.
In your baseball. What do you think?
All you have to do is just do it perfectly.
That's all. Just like baseball.
Just do that. Just do that again.
Why don't, when you're pitching, you just never let them hit off of you?
And when you're hitting, always hit it.
That's the contrast. What do you think?
That's the tango of baseball, my friend.
That's what they always say. The sweet science. Wait.
That was what Moneyball was about, right? He's like, hey guys, have you ever thought about hitting the ball?
What do you think, everybody? Email us, yourinnerchildanidiot@gmail.com. You can text us or leave us a voicemail, 615-576-0525. We want to thank our patrons for supporting the show.
Huge friends.
Including Lindsay, Halik.
The Hands of Fate.
Particle Man.
The Elusive Fan Gromkin.
Heather Tuggle.
Tippi von Cheaterly.
Zachary Hartley.
Dr. Malcolm's Eating Bosom.
Tommy Boy is Damon's favorite movie.
Little Miss Chicken Nugget.
Josh Frigo.
Caroline Amberson.
Jeremy Powlen.
Shit on the Cartouche. I love that Cartouche level, by the way, in Donkey Kong.
Karen Kurd.
T. Smith.
Beth Surmont.
Bill Haynes.
The supreme ruler of this podcast.
Jesus Christ. The Zesty.
Stu-StusStuartJ.
Jonathan Day.
Captain Jean-Luc Picard.
Lindsay Nell.
I don't know, Damon's Australian accent.
Travis Vance.
Hizoner the Mayor.
Jackson used to have an unhealthy obsession with Damon, but it ended when he heard his Buffy verdict.
That's a shame. Larissa Maestro. Larissa Maestro. Thank you all very much for supporting the show. If you want to support like them, patreon.com/yourinnerchild'sanidiot. Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye.
Now, see, Donkey Kong comes in. He's got his boombox. He then lands on his grandfather, possibly killing him. He fell off of a tree. He's an old man. And then his grandfather, checkmate, blows him up with TNT. That's what I like.
Ain't your pappies, Donkey Kong, I'll tell you that much.